What's up, fam? Hope everybody's doing fantastic out there. Today we are taking a look at a very, very special knife. This comes way of Tuya knife. So Dave Warren out there at Tuya Knives US, or he's the US representative. Anyway, picked this up from them on their most recent sale. So make sure you guys check that sale out. If it's still going on at this time, if you're not watching this, a year from now or 6 months from now or whatever, you need to get in on this closeout sale. So as of, January, I don't even know what it is. I'm putting the date up here, but as of that date, it is still going on. So make sure you check it out. Use code BE.EDC. That's BE.EDC. Again, check that there. I get you an extra 10% off. It does stack, so make sure you guys take advantage of this sale because this stuff is, this knife alone was $100 off. So absolutely insane for what you're getting here. So inside the box, you get your typical stuff. There is a numbered bag that goes along with that. So this is a limited production run. Inside of, the knife is stored in a nice little pouch as well, or a little bag. So that's pretty sweet. And then also in there, you get a titanium card. So your designer is LF. This one is number 145 or number 11 of 145, manufactured in April of 2024. Again, Tuya Alamo titanium carbon fiber M390 belt satin and hand satin. All the Tuya information and everything on here. Really cool that they that you get that titanium card. But what you guys are here for is the knife itself. So again, this is the Tuya Alamo. I think this was one of the first, if not the first, integral that Tuya has done. Been looking at this knife for pretty much since it released. Just an absolutely gorgeous knife in my opinion. I love the crystallized titanium. So this is becoming very popular now, and these guys were some of the first to do it, if I'm not mistaken. Let's go ahead and look this knife out here. So this is a knife that has, I guess you can call it mixed reviews. It's not really mixed reviews. It's just, there's some things about the knife that a lot of folks, including myself, would potentially change. But there's no taking away from the fact that this knife is stellar. The look of it, everything, the engineering, all of that goes into this knife is absolutely phenomenal. And at its normal price of $400, it is still, for what you're getting, a really good price. But right now on the sale, you can pick it up for less than $300. Especially using my code. There's really no getting around it. It is a insane deal. Again, full titanium. You've got your carbon fiber inlays, and then on this side, because you don't have the inlays, you've got some black hardware and things of that nature, just to kind of give it that simulation and give it that same kind of coloration. You do have a really very robust, and we'll take a look at it here in a second, stop pin built in with the frame. So the blade is stopping on, I believe it's contacting the stop pin first, but it does have that backup of having that full titanium body. To take a look at it. So let's go ahead and drop down here, get a close in with this knife. So really nice size pivot there, very flush. I like how it, dished in as well, but I like how the pivot is done flush there. So again, there you have that one screw construction for having the stop pin in there. I actually kind of dig that. I like having that there like that. And if you do have to take the knife apart, you can certainly remove that stop pin if need be. The inlays are done very well, very smooth. Carbon fiber does have a few voids in it, but that's to be expected. You have a lanyard slot there, so you got a little bit of lanyard love. Some holes there in the back, nicely chamfered as well. So the knife itself is contoured. Kind of hard to see that here. Let me back it up just a little bit so we can see that contouring. So you are contoured as well. And then, of course, the entire thing is chamfered and rounded off very nicely. T8 hardware everywhere. Really nice oversized stop, travel stop there. Same thing with your insert for the lock bar. And then take a look at that really nicely done crystallized titanium on the pocket clip. So this is like a sculpted clip, kind of a very similar clip to what you have on the Tuya Wolf, which you guys know I'm an absolute huge fan of that clip design as well. And there's even some cutouts on the back side of that clip. So being a integral, of course, the clip has to be screwed in from this side, so there's no way of getting it from the opposite side. But again, that clip is just gorgeous. I love how that is done. And then here you can start seeing some of the small little things that make these knives so awesome. I'm gonna try to do this without getting any smudges on the blade. There you can see your designer's LF, and then as the knife continues to rotate, there you can see your blade steel and number 11. So your blade is numbered there. On the opposite side, you have your Tuya logo as the knife comes open, and that is just barely opened up. So of course it is a fantastic lockup. Tuya quality is second to none in my opinion. Very, very, very gorgeous grind here. I mean, just multifaceted. Everything looks gorgeous. Even looking down here at your secondary tip, just how this is done just looks so freaking gorgeous. I mean, just golly, I can't wait to get this thing in some pictures. But that is beautiful, and of course a completely sterile design, so you cannot see any branding at all when the knife is open. Again, that grind looks just freaking so cool. So this is something I did just notice here. So you guys know me, I am always going to be 100% honest. So I am seeing here, so your secondary grind does come in here. On this side, it is perfect. Like, it's actually spot on perfect. Like, that lines up beautifully. And on this side, we're off a little bit. So I hadn't noticed. I thought that was actually kind of part of the design cue, was having that little bit of off grind there. But here, flipping over to the other side, you can see that was not intentional. But again, on an extremely complicated grind like this, I'm not really that mad at it. Beautiful hollow here. I mean, just super deep hollow grind. And then you have the flat grind here in the front. Clip point with a swedge. Jimping along the back of the spine here lines up with the jimping on the frame. Thumb studs are one design cue that I would change. You see that they are not contacting the frame, so they're not being used as a secondary stop or anything like that. So I don't like the location or the style of thumb stud here. That is something that I would like to see changed if they ever revisited this knife, or it's something that I'm actually going to have done. Is I want to see about having these removed and then just having a blade hole made, or having a fuller, leaving the studs here and then just having a fuller ground in to aid in deployment for the knife. But outside of that, this thing is gorgeous. Lock bar access is great. It doesn't look like it would be because it's perfectly symmetrical. However, with it chamfered out like this, and it being a fairly thicker knife, it is very easy to get in there and access that lock bar. You're not having to dig in too hard or anything like that. Cutouts are chamfered. Doesn't really seem like it's going to snag on anything. Yeah, pretty freaking sweet. And again, the action is just really hydraulic. I mean, I just got it in today, and it's already breaking in very nicely. The detent is getting a little bit softer, which is nice. It was a fairly strong detent from right out of the box, but once you kind of start getting used to where you need to place your hands and how you need to activate the thumb studs, then it's really not too shabby. So talking about the small little changes that I would make, like I said, I would love to see this thumb stud just move down just a tick. I mean, honestly, it wouldn't take much. Maybe have it be right here where my thumb is at, where my thumbnail is sitting. Just have it slid down just a hair. I think that would drastically improve the usability of the knife. Well, not the usability, because it can be used either way, but it drastically improve the fidgetability of the knife. So it is a little difficult to get to that sweet spot for opening. Definitely is not a non-knife person knife. I mean, not that a non-knife person is going to spend that kind of money on a knife anyway. but this one is definitely not one that you're going to just hand somebody and they're going to instantly be able to open it, because it is very lock bar sensitive. So you do have to be aware of that. And then, like I said, it's the thumb stud placement is a little difficult for the general operation of the knife. But again, as you guys can see, it's once you know what you're doing, it's not hard at all. And this thing comes out with authority. So definitely a collector's piece, again, with only 145 of them made, and the price tag, it is definitely a collector's piece. However, you guys know me, it means it's still going to get carried, still going to get used. It's just going to get well respected. But this is one that I will likely send off to see what can be done with it. Like I said, I would like to see maybe possibly getting a, because you got plenty of room there to just have a blade hole run up, because right there is where my middle finger hits. That's where I naturally want to be to flick this knife open. So if I just brought in and just had an oval blade hole brought in, I think that would absolutely make this knife fantastic. The other part on this knife, it's not a design flaw per se, it's just not something I'm used to, is the jimping that they are using on this specific knife. You guys know Tuya jimping is usually insane. I don't have one out here to show you guys. Actually, yes I do. I lied. I have their other integral here. So they're jimping here, even on this knife, and we'll kind of show you. We'll zoom in here. I've got video coming on this thing very soon. This is thanks to the pass around. This has got very, very little jimping here, but the jimping that is done here is extremely sharp. You can see that there. So it is very, very well done. 90-degree jimping, and it just grabs very well. So you don't need to put any pressure really on it to get it to grab the skin, and for you to be able to use it as a deployment option. Same thing with the thumb studs here. Thumb studs are angled, and you have really great access there. So that may be something else I'll look into. I may look and see if I can just get a set of thumb studs. Maybe I can get a hold of Dave, see if thumb studs are kind of the same, or if I might be able to get a secondary set of thumb studs to throw on this knife before I go hacking into the blade. But that jimping here is kind of, it's not really, it's not that it's not functional, because it is functional as jimping for the hand, or for the thumb and the regular grip. But as for doing things like just a rollover, it's a little on the difficult side. I can do it now that that's the first time I've actually successfully been able to do that. So that was kind of surprised me. But you can roll it over now that I can do that. But it is a little more difficult because this jimping does not grab as well. And see, there you go. See, now I'm starting to slide back over top of it. But it is, yeah, it's a lot more difficult to do that. Now, it still works very well as a front flipper, using your thumb, but it's not. And see, there you go, I'm starting to roll off, and that's more because of having the band-aid on my hand. But I would like to see potentially that jimping done a little bit differently. But those are, really my only two real nitpicks, and I mean, I'm talking nitpicks, because outside of that, this knife is absolutely phenomenal. I just love the action. It's got a great sound, which integrals usually do, and it's just really, really simple once you get used to it, to actuate the knife. This is actually the reason why I'm wearing the band-aid, because it did bite me a little bit. So it's mine now. Yeah, so talking about the knife in general, sorry guys, I'm just I kind of get off on a tangent, but ergonomics are phenomenal on this thing. Absolutely phenomenal. You get this thing in the hand, and it is just, it just melts in the hand. It is a nice larger knife. So we'll talk about the specs a little bit. I don't know if I did already. 3.7 inch blade. Cutting edge is going to be a little bit less because of that finger choil. 8 1/4 overall, and 5.2 ounces. It does not feel as heavy as I thought it was going to. I heard a couple of folks talk about its weight, which in an integral, it's always going to be a little bit of a weight issue, just because you are talking about a solid chunk of titanium. But this one, it definitely feels well balanced, because you have that nice heavy blade up front. So once you do get it in the hand, it does not feel heavy. It feels very well balanced, very well done. Of course, this thing is going to be super slicey with that really thin hollow grind here, and then you've got some really nice strength there in the tip. Choke up position is great. You can see there, you got plenty sticking out there. go into your kind of the forward grip here, whatever you want to call this, pinch grip, whatever, precision grip. Really nice. So yeah, a fantastic blade. There's not much hardware to check on it. Well, I guess technically there is. There's a few screws here, but I do believe they are all T8s. So let me grab my little T8 here, and we'll check out these holes. That one is great. It's grabbing a hold of the bit. Same thing there. So that one is a T6. No, that's T8. Okay, so it's just a really tight T8. So yeah, so you can hear that, how it's, you know, kind of grabbing the bit. I mean, so it's tooling is done really well on these. Let's check this other one here. Yeah, very, very well done. So if you do have to take any of these screws out, I don't think you're going to have any problems there at all. And then it is kind of cool. I do kind of like how this is designed. So you can see there, the this is more like just a barrel here. So it's not a standard thumb stud. So you got this part here is a part that screws in. This is just basically the nut, but it's threaded all the way through. So you can see that. Pretty cool design on that. I just wish they were slightly smaller, or in just a slightly different location, or perhaps even just had some ability to engage them from a different direction. Even coming straight like this might even help out as well. But outside of that, like I said, I really, really do dig this knife. It's one where if you've been looking at it, right now is the time to snag one. But that's all I got for you guys. It's been a long enough video. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. As always, please remember to be kind, be humble, and be EDC. Y'all take care.